Mula sa kabisera ng Inglaterra, sa puso ng Britanya, London, UK. London, UK. Ito ang Channel Philippines Network, Pinoy Radio UK. Pinoy Radio UK. Sumasahing papawid 24 oras. 24 oras. Buong linggo. Sa www.pinoyradiouk.com. Ang mga pinakapaborito mga awitin, mga pinakaabangang programa, at mga sariwang balita at impormasyon mula at para sa mga kababayang Pilipino sa UK at sa buong mundo. Pinoy Radio UK. Pinoy Radio UK.
Happy Thursday po. Now it's thank you for joining me tonight nga no to our tuning into our immigration corner no. Ang pangalan ko po, especially to those who are newly joining us. Ang pangalan ko po LIRA Simong CABATBAT. I'm a immigration practitioner amongst other things, and I am with Douglas Simon Solicitors no. Now wala po yung usual kaduet ko, si SONNY, Mr. LARAGAN. He's not with us today, unfortunately. But hopefully he will be with us next week. The good news is we have the talented Paula Perez, yung director po natin, without whom I would not be on air. So I'm pleased to be with you, and I hope you're pleased to be with me naman, no? It's been a strange, actually, 1st of June tayo ngayon, no? 1st of June, the first day of June. 6 months to go, give or take a few days. Christmas na naman, 2023. Ang bilis-bilis ng buhay nga ngayon, no? It's really strange. I think the older I get, the faster it seems, no? The time goes. Ewan ko kung ganun din ang feeling nyo. Nung bata ako, especially no Christmas time, it can't come fast enough. O kaya, pagka may holiday kayo sa eskwela, I don't know if you had this nga, I enjoyed school holidays. So, pagkababalik na ako sa eskwela, it was a little bit, you counting the days, no? And the holiday goes really, really fast. Tapos pagka bumalik na kayo sa eskwela, that goes so slowly. It feels like, 1 year. Well, actually, hindi naman 1 year. 3 sems lang, ha? It always felt like it's like 10 years, no? So, but ngayon, the older I'm getting, you've just had Christmas or you've just had New Year nga, no? 2023. Or we've just finally finished nga, or at least got over the horrible pandemic, no? Tapos yung nga, finally we're all freer. And then of course, then we have the Christmas, then we have the New Year. And then ngayon, June na, 1st of June. Albeit a bit colder. Ewan ko sa inyo, I mean, in the UK, nasa London po kami. So I'm actually broadcasting from Richmond, which is Greater London nga. My office is also in Richmond, the end of the district line. So it's dito po malamig. Ewan ko sa so if you're in Derby, the Duwife clan are in Derby, and of course Ireland nga, the Libroho clan. And of course we meron din nanonood galing sa Pilipinas nga, Europe. So I don't know what the weather's like where you are. Dito malamig ng konti. It doesn't feel actually like June. Maybe because Wimbledon is coming. Wimbledon, which is of course the famous tennis competition nga, is I find most of the time, or at least since I've been in the United Kingdom, which is a long time now, it's always somehow mainly raining ang umpisa. So maybe it's because Wimbledon is coming, but at the moment ang lamig nga, we had one good weather last week, siguro was it last Sunday or Saturday nga. but otherwise it's got a little bit colder. But okay, no, it could be worse. It could be raining, and hopefully we get better weather. Going forward, the 1st of June pa lang naman tayo. But hopefully, wherever you are, no, that you are warm, comfortable, and ready, no, to join us, and hopefully enjoy the information we're going to be discussing. Speaking of, pag-uusapan po natin ngayon, slightly different to what we normally do. Ito po, possible changes to spousal rules. Usually, pinag-uusapan nga natin kung nangyari na, no? So itong panibagong batas, itong panibagong case law, ang pag-uusapan po natin ngayon is possible changes to spousal rules. The reason for this is, you probably heard if you've been reading the papers o nanonood kayo mga balita nga, the government have expressed considerable concern about yung net immigration, the number of immigrants coming into the UK, no? Or rather, the number of immigrants coming to the UK less the numbers leaving the United Kingdom. So that's what they call net immigration. Mga taong nandito nga from other countries. Now, part of that, of course, is the people from the Ukraine, of course, rightly so, have been allowed to enter the United Kingdom to be helped now, given what they're going through in the Ukraine. Also, of course, there was the issue with the Windrush nga, and of course, there was Brexit and the need to bring in people to fill posts that were perhaps before were filled by EU nationals, no? So anyway, they're quite concerned about net immigration. Now, there's contradiction always between those people who are saying, well, we need people, of course, to work in the United Kingdom to fill the posts, so those who are focused more on economy, no? And those who are focused more on net immigration nga. And at the moment, our current Home Office Minister nga, Suella Braverman, and to some extent supported by the current Prime Minister nga namin dito, Rishi Sunak, are expressing major concern about net immigration. Rightly or wrongly, that's not what I'm looking to discuss now today. And frankly, if we discuss that, we will never go home. Certainly I won't, because I have my own views about that nga. But what's more important is, ano ba mangyayari? No? What are they looking to do? Especially po to do with spousal rules. No? So at the moment, ang focus po nila ay yung pera, the income, the minimum income you need to be able to show. So yung pong pag-uusapan natin. So we'll look at ano nga ang batas nga ngayon, the spousal rules, especially to do with income, and ano kaya mangyayari in the future, and what you should do. No? Dahil kung may plano nga kayo ngayon, nandun ang girlfriend nyo, boyfriend nyo sa atin, gusto nyo silang kunin nga dito, do you want to do that now? No? Can you afford to wait? Yeah? What perhaps should you do in order to start preparing yourself given the possible changes nga in the law? And I do think this will be coming. So ang pag-uusapan po natin ngayon is slightly different from the normal format po natin. Is we're looking at what could happen, no? And how best to deal with what could be changes in the law. And I do think nga it will happen. It's just a matter of time when it will happen. So yung pong pag-uusapan natin. We also have, of course, the usual viewer questions na, and we have very interesting questions that we're looking to discuss. I mean, British nationality, EU citizenship. So it's actually quite an interesting, we're full of interesting topics nga today. So ang format po natin, as usual, is yung pag-usapan natin yan, and then we'll discuss it first, tapos mamaya yung batian. So look, I love doing this. I love discussing anything new, and hopefully imparting some knowledge and this dealing with questions. Pero paborito ko by far in the whole segment nga po yung batian. So if you have time and you're watching nga, batiin niyo naman ako, no? So just message us. We'll try and get through as many, if not all, of the batian nga, no? So don't forget, because that is my favorite segment, no? Now, so just to perhaps let's do this, no? We'll go into a quick break. Don't go away. Yeah, sandali lang po. And then we'll launch into the spousal rules. Okay, please.
Mula noon hanggang ngayon, serbisyong mapagkakatiwalaan, serbisyong maaasahan pagdating sa inyong mga padalang balikbayan boxes. Dito ka na sa Forex Cargo. Sa presyong kayang-kaya ng bulsa, sigurado ka pa sa inyong padala. Forex Cargo. Dahil kailangan makarating. Call 0208-813-7064. O ano pang inaantay niyo mga kabayan? Tayo na sa Forex Cargo.
100% all natural, tasty, healthy, versatile, 4 unique flavors. Taste a real sauce. Galetos.
Mula sa kabisera ng Inglaterra, sa puso ng Britanya, London, UK. London, UK. Ito ang Channel Philippines Network, Pinoy Radio UK. Pinoy Radio UK. Sumasayang papawid 24 oras. 24 oras. Buong linggo sa www.pinoyradiouk.com. Ang mga pinakapaborito mga awitin, mga pinakaabangang programa at mga sariwang balita at impormasyon mula at para sa mga kababayang Pilipino sa UK at sa buong mundo. Pinoy Radio UK. Pinoy Radio UK.
Oh, sorry. Huli niyo ako doon, no? Boogieing to the theme song. Right. Anyway, welcome back po. Thank you very much for joining us. Ang pangalan ko po, Lira Simon CABATBAT. Welcome to our usual immigration corner, or happy Thursday. Hopefully it's happy now for you. Whatever you're doing, I hope that you enjoy this nga, and batiin niyo naman kami, no? Ayaw ko, kumakain ba kayo? Anong oras na ngayon? Alas 7 na, alas 8 na. So it's probably dinner time, no, for all of you. Hindi pa ako kumakain. So if you're eating now, or you're about to eat, okay, make me jealous. Anong pagkain nyo, no? Now, if you have, especially if you're having any Filipino dish, no? Last weekend, one of the Saturday, I had alamang bagoong with kamatis, no? That was my salad. Okay? So that was delicious. Ay, naku, nagugutom ako lang. So, it's anyway, it's if you're having dinner now, let me know. So, we are, of course, doing our usual Thursday immigration corner po. Wala nga lang si Sonny ngayon. So we'll miss him, no doubt. But the good news is we have Director Paula Perez with us, without whom I certainly would not be on air. So so thank you, Paula. And I hope that you join us and that you enjoy our topic. Yung pag-uusapan po natin ngayon, I was saying before the break, ito po, possible changes to spousal rules. Usually nga, pinag-uusapan natin is, pagka nangyari na itong batas, this case law, this immigration rules, or shortly to be introduced, no? Pero pag-uusapan po natin ngayon is really, I feel like, the controversies, controversial points made surrounding immigration. And one is to nga, spousal rules. So yun pong pag-uusapan natin. Ano bang balak nilang gawin to do with spousal rules, especially to do with money to try and limit net immigration. So it's a big topic, and it's a very interesting one, and one that actually affects an awful lot of people. I would say the spousal rules is probably a big part of my practice. No, I'm a practicing immigration solicitor. So I've been now doing this, oh gosh, over 30 years, 31 years na po kung ginagawa ko to. Next year na, 32 years na nga. In all the time that I have been doing this, which is obviously 3 decades na nga, no? This is probably the first time that immigration has been such a controversial, no, area, such a controversial topic, and what's being proposed and what's likely not to happen, and also, you know, what you hear may happen may well affect you or yung loved ones nyo especially. So yung pong pag-uusapan natin ngayon, the possible changes to spousal rules. So let's launch into that now. Okay? So, kung dito kayo nakatira, right? And British kayo, indefinite kayo, or indeed you have limited leave to remain in the United Kingdom, gusto nyo dalhin yung asawa nyo dito. O hindi pa kayo kasal, pero meron kayong balak. Fiancé, for example, you want to bring in your fiancé into the UK, o may girlfriend, boyfriend kayo sa atin, sa Pilipinas nga, nag-uusap na kayo, baka magpakasal nga kayo, so you decide, dito ba kayo titira, o dito ba kayo titira sa atin, what do you want to do? Now, one of the things that you have, that you need to satisfy, and this was actually only introduced in July 2012, so nearly 11 years ago, no? So next month nga, it's 11 years that it's been in play. It's the minimum income earning requirements, no? Yung minimum earning requirements, yun po, that requirement is imposed on the sponsor. So yung taong nandito. So not the applicant. The applicant, of course, is yung nasa atin, for example, kung magagaling nga sa atin. The sponsor, no, is the sponsoring spouse usually. Kung kasal kayo, hindi nga kayo kasal. Kung hindi ka kasal, then you may be looking at the unmarried route or indeed under the fiancé route. Regardless, £18,600 ang minimum na income requirement that was in play or that was introduced in July 2012. Since then, the figure has not changed. So for 11 years na po, the income requirement has been 18,600 kung isa lang, no, kung asawa nyo nga lang, rather. Kung asawa nyo, at saka sabihin natin, may anak kayo, isang anak nyo gustong kunin dito, yung limit tataas. So it goes from 18,600 to 22,400. So families with one child, okay? Kung dalawang anak nyo, then kailangan yung dagdagan ng 2,400, yung 22,400. So obviously that goes up, no? So for 2 children, so 1 spouse, 2 children, nandito yung asawa nyo, then the minimum income requirement dun sa sponsoring spouse na nandito is 24,800. And again, of course, if kung tatlong anak nyo, again, it goes up to 27,200 because another 2,400 pounds on top. And of course, kailangan yung pakita, ebidensya na yung kita nyo, talagang kita nyo. So you're looking at submitting payslips, bank statements po na doon bumabagsak yung income. So all those things are a must, okay? Kailangan pakita yun. Otherwise, your application or your spouse application will be refused. Yung 18,600, that is what's really at the moment being targeted nga by the government and ministers, no? As the possible change that they want to implement. Now, tingnan muna natin 18,600. So, 18,600 for some may not be an issue, no? But for many, it actually is. 18,600 means 1,550 pounds before tax per month, okay? So if you break it down, no, it means really on a weekly basis, kung 10 pounds per hour ang kita nyo, or maybe just a little bit more, then you're looking at working full time, 35 hours plus, no, to satisfy it. Some jobs, of course, are over that ang income. I would hope so, but a lot are not. No, if you're in the in the care industry, it's not unusual to actually earn just a little over 10 pounds. No, so kahit nga 35 hours na nga kayo, 40 hours, it could even be na kung di kayo if you only paid the time that you work, it could be that you don't even satisfy it. But hopefully you do. Now, so kung yun ang kita nyo nga, sabihin natin, sitwasyon meron kayong boyfriend o kaya girlfriend nga sa atin, gusto niya, nag-uusap na nga kayo, magpapakasal kayo, yun ang balak nyo. Now, ang income mo ngayon, sabihin natin is 18,700. So, lagpas ng kaunti yung sponsor nga dito. So, 18,700. Now, should you make the application now? Absolutely. Ang payo ko po, kung yun ang balak nyo, gawin nyo na. No? Because I do think, so why would I advise that? And let me read to you something from an article actually from the Times, dated Monday, the 26th of December 2022, so 6 months ago. So obviously, the government has had 6 months since to be continuing to think about what they want to do in relation to income. So I'll read to you an extract from that article. No, so sabi dito, under a draft of the proposal seen by the Times, the government would increase the minimum income threshold for British citizens applying for a family visa for a spouse or children. Currently, a couple must prove that they have an income of at least 18,600 and show evidence that they have enough money to cover the cost of any children who do not have British citizenship. So, just to clarify nga yun, kung Briton nga yung anak nyo, British citizenship nga yung bata, he or she does not count towards the 2,400 pounds na kailangan nyo i-calculate. No? Pero kung hindi siya British, pinanganak siya sa atin, hindi nga siya British, then it could be, then you may find na kailangan yung dagdagan yung income from 18,600. But looking at that article, no, sabi nga, under a draft of the proposal seen by the Times, the government would increase the minimum income threshold for British citizens applying for a family visa for a spouse or children. And that article is dated 26th of December 2022. And the commentary, the changes to ministers, the Home Office approach nga, if anything, has taken a stronger stance against immigration since December 2022. So I do think the change will happen, and I suspect will happen sooner rather than later. I mean, the Home Office, the government has already announced changes to limit immigration into the United Kingdom for those who are students and their dependents. And that actually, those changes we will discuss next week. But those changes will start in January 2024. So if I were a betting man, and although I'm not, but if I were, I would bet, that changes to the minimum income requirement for spouses will also be introduced fairly soon. And I would not at all be surprised. In fact, I would be surprised if it doesn't happen. I wouldn't be surprised if that too will commence in January 2024. Okay, hula nga lang, but I think it's probably coming, because commentators have said, and ministers have also said, it's not gone up. No, so it was introduced in July 2012. We're now June 1st, albeit 1st of June 2023. So in the last 11 years, it was 18. It's always been static at 18,600. No? So I do think it is going to be one factor that they will increase. No? Also, they may say, well, okay, the cost of living, which of course has been created by the government, but the cost of living has gone higher. So it could they may say that someone coming into the United Kingdom will likely need more than 18,600 pounds in order to be able to sustain a good living standard in the United Kingdom. So it really would surprise me if they do not introduce changes to the income requirement. And as I say, it's already started naman. So there are all sorts of immigration rules anyway coming into play. And very recently, they've already introduced changes that they want to that will happen in relation to students and also dependents, and that's going to commence in January 2024. Now, the $1,000,000 question is magkano ba? No? How much are they going to hike it up by? Now, goodness knows, it could be £1,000. I don't think so. I think higher than that. No, I mean your guess, and I'd be interested actually to know, what would you think it would be? Yeah, I think, and again, it's not necessarily based on anything, anything solid, but my feeling, I think, is they will probably hike it up to 5,000 an additional £5,000. That is a guess, right? And it is quite a lot because, of course, 18,600 at the moment. If you add another 5,000, it's 23,000, no, £23,600. Now, I think it may be that because it's a kind of it's £500 per annum increase from the date that it was introduced, which was July 2012. And if you break it down that way, then it sounds reasonable rather than suddenly it's 5,000 on top. But I think it may reach that. I hope it won't reach that. And I think if they increase it more than that, they may be subject to judicial review because the hike is so much. So they may be challenged. But I think £5,000 and under may be difficult to challenge because that just brings it up, as I say, to £23,600. And £23,600 with the current cost of living and the kuryente, gas, electricity, water, all of that, arguably not an unreasonable amount. I also think that it could be that they increase, if they don't increase it as much as that, they may then increase the IHS requirement. Now, IHS is short for Immigration Health Surcharge. For those of you who've already made applications na, o kaya you're about to make applications, makikita nyo dun sa application or the fees, may fee sa home office, which at the moment is over £1,000, £1,052 plus change. And then there's the IHS surcharge. The IHS surcharge is calculated according to the years that you're going to be here. So £624 per year. So 620, ang visa bibigay sa inyo kung spouse visa application nyo is 2.5 years. So basically 624 times 2.5, 2.5 years. So you're already looking at obviously more than £1,600, no, for an application plus the £1,052 plus change home office fee. So you're looking at already £2,600. I would guess kung hindi nga nila tataasan up the home office the minimum income to £5,000. I think what they will do is they will increase the home office fee, maybe not by very much, but they will likely increase the IHS, because that is your contribution to the NHS, the National Health Service nga. So they will probably say, well, it's more than reasonable to ask for an increase to the NHS because of the NHS concerns. They are strapped for cash, and everything is going up. So at the moment, it's 1,600 for 2.5 years. And that's probably a very, very reasonable sum. So I think they will probably also be looking to increase that. So you're looking at potentially quite a lot of money, changing. And kung maganda ang kita nyo, and your income is much more than 18,600, di naman problema necessarily. But if you are like most of my clients, ang income is a little over £10 per hour, then a massive increase to the minimum income requirement for spouses may be a problem. And if that's the case, you can of course make reference potentially to third parties to support, but that's quite difficult. You're then bringing in a kind of exceptional grounds. So you outside the tick box exercise that the home office must must apply. You know, maybe I'm being a bit unkind to say it's tick box, but there are conditions nga that they can and they need to be satisfied. You know? So it's not going to be easy for a lot of people, and it may stop actually, you know, family reunions, especially kung a lot of cases that I deal with is nandito yung nanay o tatay, no? Nagtatrabaho, kumakayod na maigi, kung anumang oras, trabaho, 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 no? So I have clients and many clients who have 2, 3 jobs nga, and they're, ang buhay nila trabaho, tulog, trabaho ulit, tulog, no? Because they're sending money back home to be able to support family. And they're just about able nga to make the 18,600. So kung tataasan nga ng gobyerno yung 18,600, especially kung may mga bata nga kukunin nyo din dito, no? Then that may make it quite difficult, if not impossible, no? For some clients, for some of you to bring your family in, especially nga, sabihin natin meron kayong ang panganay nyo, no, sinman is just about 17 years old, mag-18 na nga, no? 18 of course is the usual deadline for dependents, no? So kung hindi kayo makakita nga, hindi sapat ang kita nyo, makukuha nyo, it could be makuha nyo nga yung spouse nyo, yung asawa nyo dito later on, kahit nga taasan nilang income requirement dito, because you then find a job that is that satisfies the income requirement. So makukuha nyo asawa nyo nga dito, at meron kayong mga batang mga anak na mas bata pa, maybe. But ano mangyayari kay panganay? No? Yung dahil mag-18 na nga siya. No? So that would mean potentially na merong maiiwan sa atin, maiiwan siya sa atin. So that could then lead to a permanent separation, no? Between you and yung isa niyong anak o dalawa, kung sino man. So it's it can be quite a difficult and harsh requirement, no? Kung baguhin nga nila. I hope they won't change it, but truly I have a feeling that they will, coupled with an increase, I think, in either the home office fee or more likely, ang prediction ko po, is the IHS surcharge. No? Now, they may be more open to challenge if they hike up too much the home office fee, but I think a bit of a hike to the IHS surcharge may be more difficult to challenge. Yung nga lang, of course, kung kukunin yung asawa niyo dito, that you're looking at whatever the hike is, kung itaas nila to 800 pounds, sabihin natin. And those, some of you may remember, dati 400 pounds per year lang, tinaas nila to 624 pounds. No? And that was what, 2-3 years ago? Actually, maybe a bit longer than that. So kung taasan nila uli, so another 200 pounds on top. No? You have to then times that by 2.5 years, 2.5. So it can be quite a lot. No? So it could make the nearly possible to impossible. No? So ang payo ko po, kung meron kayong balak na kunin yung asawa nyo o hindi pa kayo kasal, fiancé nyo o girlfriend nyo, but you're thinking about maybe making the commitment, no? Ang payo ko, gawin nyo na po ngayon. Because I do think that the immigration rules will unlikely to get easier. I can't see that they will relax it. I can see absolutely that they will make it harder. And as I've said, inumpisa na nga nila to do with students. The rights and wrongs of doing it is, let's put that aside, because that we can discuss until the cows come home. But my concern at the moment, yung pag-uusapan po natin is, ano bang mangyayari? No? Ano bang kayang mangyayari? What my concerns about applicants who may be maipit nga kayo because you don't satisfy nga the income requirement. And although there's a possibility to argue nga, exceptional circumstances, kung hindi nga kasya, if you fall just slightly short, or you have maybe third-party support, meron kayong accommodation, nandito magulang nyo, na doon kayo makikitira. You can argue those, no? But you don't want if you don't need to, I wouldn't. You don't want to. That as soon as you're looking at outside the normal immigration rules, it becomes much more complex. Yung nga and it could of course result unfortunately to a refusal. Kung ma-refuse nga, then you then may be looking at an appeal. And sometimes, as I've said, kung meron mga bata, mag-18 na nga sila, it could mean truly the difference between them coming in or not at all, no? Because the adult dependent route is not, you won't be able to use that in relation to bringing in a child who is healthy, wala ang problema, into the United Kingdom, because that's not really how it works, no? So, and it's very hard to also argue that there are exceptional circumstances nga, kahit yung bata nga maiiwan sa atin. So, kung ako kayo, kung meron kayong balak na gusto nyo kunin pamilya nyo nga dito, o meron kayong girlfriend o fiancé nga dito, o sa Pilipinas, or anywhere else, of course, no? Gusto nyo silang kunin dito, pero balak pa nga lang, pinag-uusapan nyo pa nga lang, ang payo ko, bilisan yung pag-usapan. Okay? Because it could be that in 6 months' time, okay, we're now the 1st of June, but it could be that on the 1st of January 2024, 6 months from now, no, that yung income requirement puts that possibility out of reach. So truly, if you can, payo ko, you should. Okay. And any of you, of course, who wants me to email, the conditions for Appendix FM, yun ang batas to do with applying for family to come into the United Kingdom. If you want me to email you the link to show the conditions nga, just email me. I'll give you my email address nga mamaya. And if you email me, I'll send you nga the link if you want to look at that a little bit more. So, ang payo po, don't delay. It's really it could truly mean the difference between being able to bring them into the UK or not at all. So don't delay. Okay. Now I hope you enjoyed that. I mean, it's kind of I know it's not exactly, it's of course it's not bad news because the news has not come yet, but it is it's something to watch out for. Okay. But anyway, I nevertheless, I always enjoy, I always enjoy actually discussing these things with you. So I hope that's also of use to you. No? Now, having discussed what could happen, and they're not great news, no? We have some great questions actually, no, Paula? So pag-usapan natin. Okay, galing po to kay K. Oh, Khey, no, KG. Hi, Attorney Lira and Sir Sonny. My question is, in applying for dual citizenship po, ano bang mga disadvantages? Thanks in advance, galing kay K. K, I like this question, no? Dahil nga, it actually is more and more relevant, no? So to our kababayans in the UK. So, kung nandito na kayo, matagal na nga kayo dito, no? Filipino passport holder pa rin nga kayo, and you then became, matagal na nga kayo dito, you applied then for indefinite leave to remain, so settlement status na nga kayo. The next step then for you to consider, if you have plans to remain in the UK nga, no, for good, is to apply for what's called naturalization. So yung sinasabi nga ni Kay dito, no? Naturalization then leads to British citizenship. So yung nga, dual. So you're then Filipino, okay, and of course British at the same time. The British government allow for dual citizenship, so it's not that you're going to lose your Filipino citizenship. And now also, it's been for some time, the Philippine government also allow for dual, so you can hold both. So in the past, dual citizenship was perhaps not really an ideal thing, no, because of double taxation. But that's gone. There's no double taxation nga anymore. So kung Filipino passport at saka British passport holder kayo, it does not mean na income nyo dito is also taxed. in the Philippines. Hindi po. There's now an agreement between the UK and also the Philippine government to get rid of double taxation. So now it's quite a complex area of law, and I don't profess to be an expert in it, because taxation nga is a different beast altogether, especially if it's to do with jurisdictional taxation nga. Now, but roughly, yung income nyo nga dito would be taxed potentially under British taxation nga. Yung income nyo sa atin may well be taxed under Philippine taxation rules, taxation law. So there's no double taxation anymore. That was the biggest thing that put people off years back now, pero wala na po. So kay ito, it's if there's no double taxation, what other disadvantages are there? Well, I mean, again, linked with the double taxation, there may be a bit more paperwork because you need to elect potentially where you're domiciled, and you domiciled in the United Kingdom. For income tax purposes, are you domiciled nga sa Pilipinas? Where you have if you die nga, which country potentially you would receive nga yung tax mo, where's that looked at? So there potentially is paperwork to be had. But at the moment, I really can't see that there are massive disadvantages to being dual, because you remain Filipino, and then you are also not British, and Filipino passports, of course, can be welcomed in especially Asian countries nga. But the British passport is a very good passport also to have. It also allows you nga to travel, of course, between UK and the Philippines without needing to apply for another visa. And also, turning the question around, rather than one of disadvantages. The advantage, though, major advantage also of becoming dual is you don't then potentially lose, or you don't have the potential to lose your settlement status in the UK. So some 2 broadcasts ago, pinag-usapan nga natin what would happen is if you have indefinite leave to remain, tapos umalis kayo sa UK, matagal na kayo sa atin, sabihin natin you've retired there, so mahigit na kayong 2 taon hindi bumalik dito. Now, ibig sabihin, if you've been absent from the United Kingdom consecutively, so continuously rather, for 2 years, mawawala po yung indefinite nyo. So, okay, so kung indefinite ka na, so ibig sabihin, matagalan ka sa atin. And because you're having great time or not having great time, na may problema, so you couldn't come back to the United Kingdom. It may mean the loss of your indefinite leave to remain. Yung po, hindi yung mangyayari kung British na nga kayo, if you're dual. So the quick answer to your question, Kay, is at the moment, apart from maybe paperwork or maybe some confusion about taxation nga, I can't see any major disadvantage in becoming dual. So you don't lose your Filipino citizenship, and you're able to take advantage of your British citizenship. Also, baka sabihin natin plans don't always work out. You make a plan nga na uuwi na kayo sa atin, bibili kayo ng lupa sa atin, magtatanim kayo kung kamote, man yun, and that would be enough to support yourself. Plus of course meron kayong yung savings yun nga. Something happens, nagkasakit nga kayo, you had to fork out money in order to be able to have medication, o yung kamag-anak nyo nga sa atin, or the money that you have, you thought na sapat, hindi naman sapat, you want to come back to the United Kingdom. Kung British ka, you can anytime. Kung indefinite ka, Filipino passport holder ka, indefinite leave to remain ka, settled status ka dito, pagka lumagpas ng 2 taon, you lose that right to come back to the UK. British ka, you have the right of abode in the United Kingdom. So, okay, kung ako ikaw, I would turn around the question, and rather than looking at, I do think there are not so many disadvantages, but the advantages far outweigh, the disadvantages of becoming dual. So if this is to do with you, let me know what you decide to do, okay? No? And now, pangalawang question po ito, galing kay Ann M. Magandang gabi, Atty. Lira and Sir Sonny. I applied for my British citizenship po last month. Oh, okay, there you go. It's a good follow-up question, no? Ask ko po, sana, how long does it take to know the results? Maraming salamat po and more power. Thank you, Anne, for this. So it's a great follow-up question, no? Yung pinag-usapan natin kanina. And I can answer this from information actually I got fairly recently because I was dealing with a client who asked me exactly the same question. Guidance from the Home Office at the moment is it can take up to 6 months, and there's quite a bit of backlog. My view, though, is this. So, although they say it can take up to 6 months, the applications certainly that I've made are not taking as long as that. I mean, saying that, it's some are taking a while, but not taking as long as, say, 6 months. And some of my applications are taking far shorter time than that. One I dealt with recently only took about 8 weeks. But sometimes it's a question really of, well, I think it's unpredictable. Some applications I submit very, very similar facts to the next application I submit. The time scale is quite different. So sometimes I think it's it's a question of luck. Who's looking at it? Is the caseworker perhaps faster? Maybe less cases to deal with. But the guidance at the moment po, Anne, up to 6 months. So allow for that. No. By the way, just actually on that, kung nagmamadali ka o your concern is kailangan mo magbiyahe, no? Gusto mo magpasok ng citizenship, na British citizenship, naturalization nga, pero kailangan mo magbiyahe, until such time as you actually have your oath taking, okay, when you swear to be British, of course, your indefinite leave to remain mo is effective. So a lot of my clients, and that's something actually people don't realize. So kung nagpasok ka ng naturalization, hindi naman ibig sabihin hindi ka na pwedeng lumabas no? So until such time as you become British, so at the point of oath taking, okay, not the passport but the oath taking when you become British, you indefinite leave to remain na nakatatak dun sa passport mo is still effective. So kung gusto mong magbiyahe, you can. Yeah? So hopefully you can. Let me know. Okay, galing po to kay Renz. Oh, Renz P. Good evening po, Sir Sonny at Atty. Lira. Ask ko lang po, ano pong need gawin if gusto ko pong dalhin girlfriend ko sa UK? Okay? So girlfriend, hindi pa fiancé o asawa. Currently po, naka-pre-settlement status po ako and family visa po ang gamit ko papuntang UK. Add ko po, ako pa rin sa question, if wife ko na po siya, ano din po ang way or need para madala siya dito sa UK? Thank you and God bless. Okay, Renz. Ito, these questions are maigsi nga lang, but it's actually quite loaded. It touches on quite a few things, itong question ni Renz. No? So it deals with EU regulations as they have been incorporated within immigration rules. It of course deals with yung dependent visas, no, pre-settlement status dito rather than settlement status, and of course it also deals with spousal rules, yeah, with yung pinag-usapan nga natin kanina, no, to do with 18,600. So although maiksi nga lang the question ni Renz, it's actually it deals with a gambit, no, of issues. So let me see if I can if we can break it down and help as much as we can, because it really is. It will take me an hour to go through the question and maybe still not do it justice even with that 1 hour. But let's have a go. Now, una po, let's break it down. Kung girlfriend ang dadalhin mo dito, kung girlfriend ang gusto mong kunin nga, Renz, unang-una, girlfriend does not, she's not of course a spouse and hindi pa nga kayo kasal, she's not a fiancé because you're not also engaged yet, and you've not been living together, I assume, for more than 2 years. So, unmarried partner nga dito. So, kung girlfriend mo gusto mong imbitahin, that's exactly what you're going to do. Imbitahin mo nga lang siya. So, that means a visit visa. Okay? To enter the United Kingdom. It's not anything that would allow her to settle. Now, iba po yun, no? Kung asawa mo na siya. So, sabihin natin, nag-uusap na, clear na, nag-uusap na kayo. At least ikaw, no? Iniisip mo na, baka gusto niyo magpakasal, and if maybe you want to even propose, no? If that's the case, then of course, he would then be either your fiancé, so with the view to remarrying in the United Kingdom, o kaya even as a spouse, kung kakasal nga kayo sa atin. Now, pre-settlement status ka. So, ibig sabihin, may visa ka naman dito, but yung nga, pre-settled status. Now, for those of you who are not familiar nga with EU law, pre-settlement status is one of the two things nga na bibigay kung if either you are family of an EU national or indeed if you're an EU national. So, because nag-Brexit na nga tayo dito sa UK, it means that the two things are settlement status, kung mapapakita nyo 5 taon na nga kayo dito, either as a family member of EU national o kaya EU national nga kayo dito. Settlement status means indefinite leave to remain effectively. No? Pre-settled status, ibig sabihin, the Home Office says, hindi pa kayo 5 taon dito. So, you don't have therefore settled status, no, indefinite leave to remain permanent residency in the UK. Now, it may not, in a way, it doesn't matter in a way because it's been taken into account by the immigration rules. So kung spouse visa na, kung saan na kayo, spouse visa, kinasal kayo sa atin, kukunin mo nga siya dito, then she would of course qualify as your family member. So it would still be under, if you want to look this up, it's still under the Appendix FM, okay? It's probably one of the worst drafted legislation ever. No? It's a very confusing piece of legislation, but it would be under that, no? Because she would then be your family member. Now, ang kailangan pakita, you can apply for her to join in the UK, pero kailangan pakita likely to be, the other things still, that someone under the immigration rules, of course, would need to show, including suitability, genuineness of relationship, and also yung income requirement, which at the moment would be 18,600. Now, you can also apply potentially to bring her in as a, I suppose as a visitor, no? You can also see about applying for a marriage visit visa dito. Ingat nga lang kayo, dahil pagka marriage visit visa kayo dito, papasok nga niya dito, ibig sabihin, pwede kayong kasal dito, but she can't apply to change over to a spouse kahit kasal na nga kayo. So, ibig sabihin, kailangan nyo umuwi pa rin sa atin to come in and then come into the United Kingdom. No? So, that is, if you like, it's a summary, a short version really, given the limited time available to us of what you can potentially look at. So, ang payo ko, tingnan mo una, are you ready to make the commitment? No? If you're ready to make the commitment, gusto nyo magpakasal nga, then kung ang balak nyo you papasok siya dito and you're looking for her to stay in the United Kingdom permanently nga with you, then visit visa is not the appropriate route. You need to apply for, you need to maybe potentially marry, in the Philippines and bring her in as a spouse. Or indeed bring her in as a fiancé. Okay? But either way, kailangan pakita that you satisfy, or rather she satisfies nga, the Appendix FM, the immigration rules pertaining to you being an EU family member. I'm assuming that you're a family member rather than EU. But so yun, it's quite a complex area of law actually. So what happened after Brexit nga, after a certain time, is a lot of the regulations under EU that were part of EU regs that have been incorporated or been taken into account within the immigration rules nga dito. And it's not helped the understanding, the Appendix FM, the legislation. But kung gusto mong tingnan, it is It is under Appendix FM. If you want me to point you in more specific direction nga, email me and I'll send you the link. But good luck. And actually, let me know kung anong balak nyo nga, because I'd be quite interested. Hopefully, I know it's always romantic to be to bring your loved ones nga dito, no? And I hope that you do, because it's great to be with your loved ones, di ba? Oh, Batian, wonderful! And of course, one of my favorite people, si Oliver Fernandez. It's finally, sabi niya, the 1st of June. Oh, we're already entering the second half of 2023. You read my mind, Oliver. Tama ka. So 6 months ago, Christmas na naman. Let us power on through spring and summer with another Law Learning Thursday as Attorney Lira, Kuya Sonny, Direct Pao, and Snooki bring us another episode of Immigration Corner. So, wala nga lang si Sonny, and by extension, wala din si Snooki. That would surprise you, no? If I had Snooki and no Sonny. So Oliver, I have to disappoint you. Wala nga si Sonny, but I'm so pleased na bumati ka. Galing po, next, of course, Marian Galicia Paner. Hello po, Kuya Sonny and Attorney Lira, at sa lahat. Magandang gabi po and happy Thursday po, and stay safe always. Stay healthy. God bless you po. God bless, Marian. Hopefully you're doing well and not working too hard, no? And you're enjoying the kind of good weather ngayon. Oh, Analu, she's a lovely lady. Analu Antipuesto, amazing Thursday evening po, Attorney Lira, Kuya Sonny, Direct Pao, and to all viewers, ingat po tayo and God bless everyone. No, God bless, no? Analu, hopefully you're keeping well and not working too hard. Tayo mga Pinoy, ang sipag natin, no? Truly, sabi ko nga kanina, marami akong kilala, marami akong makalahante. 2, 3, 4 ang trabaho nila. Oh, Marian! So Marian saying, it's 1st of the month of Happy Thursday and sunny night and Direct Pow and Snooki. Talaga, Marian, it is 1st of the month, 1st of June, 6 months to go, no? There, give or take a few days nga to Christmas. I can't remember. I kid you not. I am astounded as to how fast time is going, no? And it's a bit worrying, no? Ang bilis-bilis. Sometimes it truly is worrying. Oh, Ma'am Cora! We love Ma'am Cora. Magandang gabi. Sir Sonny, Attorney Lira, Direct Pao, at lahat ng mga sumasabaybay sa very informative program at informasyon. And of course, Watson and Snooki. Thank you, Ma'am Cora. Watson is here, actually, no? Well, he's sleeping over there. Like yung aso ko, si Watson, for those of you nga who have been following us, or indeed for those of you who are new, no? Si Snooki, aso po yon ni Sir Sonny, no? She's a cute little thing with a cute little nose. Watson, siya pang aso ko, no? Watson is a massive Labrador. He's kind of golden in color, and he eats everything in sight. Everything, no? Kung ibaba, one time he ate a whole ubi cake, no? So he went on the counter, tapos he swiped it and ate the whole thing. I was so upset. Binigay sa akin ng kalayante ko. I was so looking forward to eating it, to having at least a piece, no? Kinain ng buong yung buong cake ng aso ko. I actually thought he would be he would be sick, but no, he was very happy having swiped and eaten all my cake. Anyway, so wala po si Sonny ngayon, unfortunately, and by extension wala na nga din si Snooki. Oh, galing po and Andrea Tamayaw. Hi, Andrea. Happy Thursday po. What a beautiful weather today. Watching for mostly. Yeah, I tell you, tama ka, Andrea. I shouldn't complain naman. Malamig na konti. And we're the first of you. But hindi umuulan. No? Hindi umuulan. It was sunny also. So yeah, no, we shouldn't complain. It's lovely weather, no? Oh, the Rudy Libro, the Libroho clan, no? Happy Thursday po, all beautiful people. Team Libro, kamusta ka, Libro? Regards po sa pamilya mo. No? Si Rudy, ang anak niya, she's so talented. You know, if you haven't checked her out, her singing voice, amazing. Check her out, no? Galing po to kay Cherry. Cherry Allison, magandang gabi po sa lahat. Listening, I love the little emoji with the earphones, no? Listening mode while having dinner. Turkish meal. Oh, Cherry. Anong sabi mo Turkish meal. Ano? Are you having a kind of kebab? Oh, hindi pa ako kumakain. So I'm so hungry, Cherry. So sabihin mo sa akin, now, Gigi. Hi, Gigi. Good evening, Attorney Lira and Kuya Sonny. Also, Direct Pow. Happy Thursday, all viewers. God bless everyone. God bless, Gigi. Hope you're well. Are you also eating? No? I'm obsessed now with food. Dahil alas 8:30 na nga. I haven't eaten my dinner. I'm hungry. So it's MM. Hi, good evening po si MM Giling. Hi, good evening po sa lahat. Happy Thursday po, Ma'am Lira. I tell you what, MM Giling, I have to give her a shout out. Miss Giling gave me alamang bagoong 2-3 weeks ago, no? And I've been going through it. I'm halfway the jar now, okay? And mamayang gabi, when I have my dinner, I haven't had my dinner yet. That's why I'm complaining. I'm going to have it. I'm going to have it with some tomatoes, no? And also maybe if I can find it, some other vegetables. Pero yun, Ma'am Cora, oh, you're so cruel to me. Sabi niya, I'm having adobong kangkong at pritong tilapia, Attorney Lira, for my dinner. Oh my gosh, I'm so hungry now. Halina kayo, lahat kain na tayo. Ma'am Cora, I'm so jealous. Adobong kangkong, pritong tilapia. I love tilapia, no? Especially nga kung it's crunchy, no? I tell you, well, you know what you're missing, Ma'am Cora? I think you're missing bagoong at saka kamatis. Tilapia with that, sarap. Miss Rafael! Oh, she's feeling good. You see, she's all caps. Good evening, Sonny and Attorney Lira and Direct Pow and everyone. Happy Thursday, everyone. Happy Thursday po, Ma'am Emmeline. Hopefully you're well. Ma'am Emmeline is a travel bug, no? She travels everywhere, which is good, no? Good evening. Oh, galing po to kay May. Hi, May. Yeah, May Tigbao Vargas. Good evening and happy Tuesday. Happy Thursday. Happy Tuesday then. Coming Tuesday and past Tuesday, but happy Thursday then, May. Hopefully you're well, no? Galing Peter Kelly. Oh, you too. Love to you too, no, Peter? Hopefully you're well. I can't see that picture. Oh, one of my favorites also, Edgar. We love Edgar, do I? And of course, no, the Mrs. also, yeah. Magandang gabi, Attorney I love this man. Sir Sonny, the Right Pow, manonood and lovable snooks. Yeah. Wala nga lang si Sonny ngayon, Edgar, unfortunately. But I hope you're well, no? Oh, actually, there was, I think, or maybe there is, the Derby Barrio Fiesta. If it's happened, no, tell me about it. Ang nangyari, did you have a good time? And hopefully, I think the weather was fine, no? I think it was last weekend. Sabihin mo sa akin kung nangyari na nga. Miss Paneria, I'm doing well, thank you po. I had beef. Oh my gosh, I'm so hungry. Beef and broccoli. I love broccoli. Best vegetable, I think, broccoli. It is. It's so. I mean, it's good for you anyway. Broccoli. I don't think I don't ko may broccoli ba tayo sa Pilipinas. I don't remember ever having broccoli in the Philippines. No. Kangkong, of course, hindi nga yun. So yun. But no, not broccoli. I only remember having broccoli in the UK. No. Especially mga florets, but it's delicious. I love broccoli. Oh, I'm so hungry now. I'm so hungry. Now, ano tayo? Oh, 22 to 9 na nga, no? I'm so looking forward to dinner. And you know what I will have? Sabi ko nga kanina, no? I'm going to have some of my alamang bagong courtesy of Miss M.M. Giling. Oh, Ang tanong kay Edgar, kailan ba yung Barrio Fiesta, no? Sa Derby. It is this Saturday, sa Saturday, 3rd of June. Everyone's invited. Our band, Bandarito, will be playing. And I tell you what, Edgar is one of the most talented people I know. So kung nandun kayo sa Derby, lahat tayo, we should go, no? If you can watch him play, he is absolutely worth watching. He is one of the most talented, no, people we know, and he's also to boot, he's also such a nice chap. But you should go to go to the Barrio Fiesta in Derby. Hopefully it's good weather for you, no? Take some pictures, Edgar. And and send us some pictures for next week. I'd love to have a look. I don't know if I can. I tell you what. If I'm not doing anything now actually I do have something on Saturday. If I can cancel it, I'll come to Derby. I'll let you know if I'm coming, huh? So I can actually let me know kung anong oras nga your band is playing, because I may not be able to come for the whole day. Because I'm coming from London nga, no? But yeah, I'd love very much to watch you. So let me know kailan ang band mo. Anyway, ano nang oras na yan? Mag-aalas 9 na. So yun, sabi ko nga kanina, I've not eaten, no? So I'm now jealous. May so you guys are having adobo, tilapia, beef, no, broccoli. Oh, I'm so jealous. But I know for certain, one of the things kanina nga, courtesy of Giling, that I will have is bagoong alamang with kamatis. I know meron akong kamatis because I bought some from Sainsbury's kanina nga. I will have that as my salad, no? And anything else. Maybe it's a little bit of, I don't know, noodles o kaya rice. As long as I have my bagoong, I'm happy. Anyway, look, anong oras na nga po ngayon? Nearly 9 o'clock, no? Sorry, I mean, I was going on about pagkain nga. I love my food. I don't know what it is with the Filipino thing, but I do love my food. So I suppose I better let you all go, especially si Paula, no? Who's probably as hungry as I am. So I'm going off soon to have my kamatis, my bagoong alamang. So it just leaves me to say thank you po for joining us, no, on this happy Thursday. And I hope yung topic po nga natin kanina na pinag-usapan, no, possible changes to spousal rules, is of use to you, is of interest nga to you. Pero kung meron kayong mga questions po o you gusto niya nga kong batiin, which of course I'm happy to reciprocate, no, feel free to contact me, no? Ang contact details po namin ire. So Paula, would you mind just giving my email address po, no? So Paula will flash it in shortly nga yung email ko. Pero email ko po basically CABATBAT, yung apelyido ko, CABATBAT, CABATBAT, at Douglas, yung opisina ko, Douglas, DOUGLASS Simon. No, Simon actually, yung apelyido ko nga rin, middle name ko, SIMON.com. No? So quite clear. So may telephone number po kami. Ang number namin 0203-375-0555. But frankly, mas maganda kung mag-email kayo sa akin rather than telephoning me, because it's quite difficult to get hold of me on the phone. Now, if you email me, meron kayong question, gusto niyo akong batiin, no? You want me to actually send you the link to Appendix FM, which I'm more than happy to do, which is to do nga with spousal applications, yung nag-usapan nga natin kanina. Or you want to send me pictures, Edgar, no? Of the Barrio Fiesta. Ang email address ko, send it to me by email. Pero mag-email po kayo sa akin, pwede ba lagay nyo dun sa subject, no? Immigration corner, yeah? Because I have a really bad habit of opening my email, tapos I close it, I never find it again. Kung nalagay yung subject immigration corner, then I type that in, and in due course, I get around to look at your email. Okay? So, phone details ko ulit, kabatbat at douglas-simon.com. Telephone number po namin, 0203-375-0555. Yung po opisina nga namin sa Richmond, which is in Greater London. Now, if you are interested, no, in yung mga articles ko nga at saka pag-usapan natin nga, I try and put that on the office website. Ang website po namin ire. So www.douglas-simon.com. So if you go on our website, nandun mga detalye namin. But if you go on the tab that says news, okay, on the left-hand side is a list of articles that I've uploaded, and I'll try and upload nga yung information na pinag-usapan nga natin kanina. I'll also upload the Times article that I referred to. The Times article was dated on Monday, the December 22nd, 26, 2022. So, no, near enough 6 months ago nga. So, kung gusto nyo basahin. So, I do think nga the changes are coming, you know, and I don't think they're going to be good changes. I think they're going to make increase, no, the income requirement, maybe even increase the fees, increase IHS with immigration health surcharge. So I do think that whatever changes are coming, they're not going to help you. So kung meron kayong balak na kuning pamilya nga dito sa UK, ang payo ko, umpisahan nyo na kung hindi nyo pa inumpisahan. Because I think any changes will not likely to be kind. They're likely to be to make life a bit more difficult. So kung yun may balak nga kayo, payo ko, get on with it. No? Now, so it's unfortunately wala nga si Sonny ngayon. I hope he will be able to join us next week. And of course, by extension nga si Snooki. But I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did. I always do, no? Especially the Batian section. And thank you, of course, again to Paula Perez, yung director po natin, without whom there's no way that I would be on air, no? So very grateful, of course. And and my co-presenter today is none other than Watson, who is milling around. So kung meron ka naririnig, no, kind of huffing and not barking. He's not been barking today, but tapping and huffing around. Yeah, no, because my Watson's now 9.5 years old na nga siya. So he's become a grumpy old man. So he just huffs and puffs and prances about and eats anything in sight. Anyway, speaking of eating, I will now leave you to it because I'm going to go off and have my kamatis and alamang bagoong. Okay, so it just leaves me to say thank you po for joining us, no, and thank you of course to Paula, and I hope to see you soon again, no, next week when we would have the second Thursday of June, no, again closer, even closer to Christmas, no, 6 months, less than 6 months na nga ngayon. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed because I certainly did, and thank you for being with us. It's always a pleasure. So, thank you. And I hope to see you next week. Good night.